Okay, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about the propositions on the California ballot. We are the Fresno County Public Library Literacy Services Center. I am Deborah Bernal, the Literacy Coordinator. Joining us is Catherine Powell, a dedicated volunteer who is working on our voter education program. Marcela Juarez Duarte, who is a senior library assistant and works primarily in Western Fresno County. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be presenting this information in a nonpartisan way. Voting is a very personal decision, and we want you to make an informed decision for yourself. So continuing on to the next slide, I'm going to share with you guys is we are the, like I said, we are the Literacy Services Center. Literacy are the foundational skills of all skills. They allow us the opportunity to be empowered and engaged in our community. Statewide literacy programs are helping individuals and their families exercise their right to vote. So one of the things that we're doing is we're participating in voter education. And again, this is a goal for many people to vote in the election. So we want to say a special thanks to the League of Women Voters of Fresno County. They've helped us with this presentation, and part of the presentation that you will see is directly from the presentation that they've been doing across the county. So this is just the ballot propositions for the November 2020 election. Catherine will be guiding you through the first propositions.
Hello. So before we begin looking at that, let's talk about a few useful references. These are online locations. The voter information guide, which is at the web address you see here at the top of the screen, www.sos.ca.gov. SOS stands for Secretary of State, and that's the office that oversees this voter information guide. You can also get more information on the propositions by going to the voter guide, and you'll see the web address there, sos.ca.gov/propositions. And you can also find information on contributions through the ballotpedia.org, and you'll see that address there at the bottom of the screen. So these are all places you can go online to find out more information. A lot of these sites have, especially, I know for sure that the voter information guide has many languages available. So keep in mind, you can go back and look at this presentation again and get those web addresses to do your further research. We'll go to the next slide, please. So we have some of these propositions are what are referred to as constitutional amendments that are on the ballot. And those include Prop 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And that would be 15 is the split roll property tax. 16 is the ending ban on affirmative action in state decision making. 17, right to vote for people on parole for felony convictions. 18, letting some 17-year-olds vote in primary or special elections. And then 19, property tax breaks for some individuals who change residences. And we'll go to the next slide. Also, some of these propositions are referred to as statutes, and these include 14, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So Prop 14 is the bond issue for stem cell research. Prop 20 restricts parole for certain offenses and creates 2 new types of felonies. Prop 21 allows local governments to establish rent control statewide. Prop 22 is the gig economy employment prop. 23, regulating dialysis clinics. 24, stronger consumer privacy laws. And then 25, a referendum on no cash bail law. So that's an overview there. We're going to go to the next slide. And before I start talking about Prop 14, I'm just going to mention that how do you know if something passes? What makes it pass? All propositions will pass with a majority vote. That just means that they get more than half of the votes that are cast. And then also you'll see on this slide towards the bottom, something that says follow the money. And that's just an indication of money that's been spent on the various propositions. And I want to note that these are figures from a week or so back when this presentation was first prepared. So we'll start with Prop 14. And the purpose for Prop 14 is a $5.5 billion bond issue to continue stem cell research to be repaid from the general fund. And the background on this is that in 2004, voters approved the right to conduct stem cell research in California as a constitutional amendment. And they approved $3 billion bond issue to fund that research. This proposition seeks to continue stem cell research in California, and it will issue $540 million in bonds per year over 11 years, and the interest repayment would begin in the year 2026. The financial analysis, this would increase state costs about $260 million per year to repay the bonds. And then following the money, supporters reporting $9.2 million and opponents $250. So we'll go to the next slide, and we'll see that there's a list of some of the folks who are for it, meaning that they are in agreement. They're saying this is a good idea, and that includes amongst some here the University of California Board of Regents, the Latino Cancer Institute, Governor Newsom, and you see the entire list there. Who's against it would be Jeff Sheehy, who is a board member of the California Institute for Regenerative Medicine. So that is Prop 14. Next, we'll go to Prop 15. And the purpose for Prop 15 is to provide more funds for schools and for local government services. This proposition is in relation to Prop 13, which passed back in 1978. And Prop 13 was a very big property tax reform that included all property in this reform. And so 15 is going to, the proposal is to change the tax assessment for commercial and industrial property. Properties would be reassessed at the current market value instead of the purchase price. So as you know, there's property, value will change. Oftentimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, but the current market value of a property is often higher than the purchase price. Exemption. So what is exempt in this proposition? Residential, agricultural land, property worth less than $3 million, small business, personal property taxes. And the financial analysis says that Prop 15 would provide somewhere between $6.5 to $11.5 billion in new revenues to counties and schools. If we follow the money, we show $42.9 million in the supporters' end and $29.9 million in the opponents' end. And we'll go to the next slide, please. And so some of the folks who are in agreement with Prop 15, Joe Biden, Governor Newsom, the California Teachers Association, the California Democratic Party, Mark Zuckerberg. Who's against it? The California Chamber of Commerce, California Retailers Association, the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, and the California NAACP. So that's Prop 15. We'll move on to the next slide, Prop 16, and that allows diversity to be considered in education, in hiring, policing, contracting, and then other government decision-making. And the background on this is another proposition that's in response to a previous proposition. This would repeal Prop 209, which was back in 1996. And Prop 209 banned those considerations in education, hiring, et cetera. So the financial analysis on this, that there would be no direct effect of state and local entities. And if we follow the money, Supporters 12.5 million and opponents 1 million. We'll go to the next slide, please. And Prop 16. So who are some of the folks who are for an agreement, who are for Prop 16? You'll see the list there. They include a lot of school groups, the California Community Colleges, California State University System, the University of California System, Governor Newsom, and then also the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. Who's against it? Californians for Equal Rights, Chinese American Civic Action Alliance, Students for Fair Admissions, and the California Republican Party. So that's Prop 16. Moving on to Prop 17. Prop 17, the purpose is to allow for felons on parole to register to vote. And that would be after they leave prison instead of waiting until parole ends. So just as an aside, Californians in state or federal prisons or those on parole for a felony conviction are not allowed to register to vote. And the background shows county probation allows voter registration if person on parole for minor offenses or in jail due to a lack of bail money. So in the United States now, 19 states allow this registration to vote, the felons on parole, 30 do not. The financial analysis is that it would increase county costs in the hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. Following the money, supporters, 582,000, opponents, no reported spending. And we'll go to the next slide and see who is for it. The League of Women Voters in California, Governor Newsom, Californians for Safety and Justice, and then Democratic Assembly Member Kevin McCarthy of Sacramento. And that is who introduced this constitutional amendment. Those who are against it, Crime Victims United of California and Election Integrity Project California. So that's Prop 17. And we will go on to Prop 18 on the next slide, please. And Prop 18 amends the Constitution to allow 17-year-olds to vote in primary or special elections if they turn 18 on or before the next general election. So those who are supporting this say that this proposition passing would encourage civic engagement at an earlier age. So it would encourage young adults, I would say, to participate in political and community engagement, and it would start at an earlier age. Opponents say that 17-year-olds are not quite recognized as adults, especially in many financial and adult activities. The financial analysis shows increased county costs of thousands of dollars to $1 million every 2 years for this proposition to be in place. Supporters report spending $342,000. Opponents show no spending. And next slide. Who's for it? You'll see California Association of Student Councils, Governor Newsom and Secretary of State Padilla, the California League of Conservation Voters, and California School Boards Association. Who's against it? Election Integrity Project California and the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association. So that's Prop 18. Next is Prop 19, and this would allow homeowners over the age of 55, homeowners who are disabled, or homeowners who are wildfire disaster victims to transfer their old, in quotes, old property tax base to a new residence anywhere in California, and anywhere is the key word there. Currently, the background tells us that currently the property tax base can be transferred in this kind of a sale from old to new home within a county, and some counties allow transfer between counties, but this proposition allows it for anywhere within California. The financial analysis, local governments could have increased revenue of tens of millions of dollars if this were in place. Following the money, supporters report 36.3 million and opponents 45,000. And our next slide. Who's for it? Prop 19, the California Association of Realtors, California Professional Firefighters, Governor Newsom and the California Democratic Party, and the California Nurses Association. Who's against it? Prop 19, the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association and Senator Patricia Bates, Republican of Laguna Hills. So that's Prop 19. Now I'm going to pass it over to Marcella, who's going to start with Prop 20.
Prop 20, purpose, restricts parole for certain offenses and authorizes felony sentences for some current misdemeanors, creates two new types of crimes, serial theft and organized retail theft, requires a DNA sample to be taken from adults and youth offenders. Background, changing Prop 47 in 2014, a statute, plus changing Prop 57 in 2016, a constitutional amendment. Financial analysis, increase in correctional and law enforcement's costs of tens of millions of dollars annually. Follow the money, supporters, 4.5 million, opponents, 5.7 million. Next slide, please. Who's for it? The Democrat Assembly Member, Jim Cropper, Republican Assembly Member, Vincent Bone, and the California Retailers Association, Sacramento County District Attorney Annie Marie Sugarberg. And who's against it? Governor Newsom and the California Democrat Party, ACLU of California, California Teachers Association, Chief Probation Officer of California. Next slide, please. Prop 21, purpose, allows local governments to establish rent control statewide. Expands rent controls to properties 15 years old. Limit rents increase to 15% over the 3 years. Exempts owners who only own 2 or fewer properties. Financial analysis, potentially reduction in state and local revenues of high tens of millions of dollars. Follow the money, supporters 24 million, opponents 41.5 million. Next slide, please. Who's for it? Michael Winston, president of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, California Democrat Party, Addiction Defense Network, and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Who's against it? California Apartment Association, Governor Newsom, SS Property Tax and Promises Retail Estate Group, California Senior Advocates League. Next slide, please. Prop 22, purpose, exempts app-based transportation and delivery companies from providing employee benefits to certain drivers. Initiative statute. Background, AB 5 is suspended by the courts until after the proposition is voted on. Does improve some benefits and increase public safety protection. Financial analysts, some increase in tax paid by employees. Follow the money, supporters, 184 million, opponents 11 million. Next slide, please. Who's for it? Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and DoorDash. California Chamber of Commerce, California Police Chiefs Association, and California NAACP. Who's against it? The Democrat presidential ticket, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Service Employee International Union, and California Teachers Association, Gig Workers Rising, and Driver Advocacy Organization. Next slide. Prop 23. Purpose: more regulation on dialysis clinics. Background: the visits of Proposition 8 on 2018 ballot required a physician's assistant, or a nurse practitioner to be on site at each dialysis clinic. Prohibits clinics from closing or reducing services. Prohibits refusal to treat patients based on payment source. Financial analysis: increases cost and low tens of millions of dollars annually to monitor. Follow the money. Supporters 6.2 million. Opponents 9 million. Next slide, please. Who's for it? Service Employee International Union, United Healthcare Workers, California Labor Federation, California Democrat Party. Who's against it? DeVita, Variance Medical Care, California Medical Association, and California State Conference NAACP. Next slide, please. Prop 24. Purpose: increase consumer privacy by preventing sharing of personal information, by limiting the use of sensitive information, by correcting personal data, and by establishing a consumer privacy protection agency. Financial analysis: annual cost of 10 million. Follow the money. Supporters 5.4 million. Opponents 48,000. Next slide, please. Who's for it? Alistair McCurdy and his wife Celine, creators of a group called California for Consumer Privacy. Common Sense Media, a group that promotes safe use of media and technology for children. Consumer Watchdog, Alice Huffman, president of the California NAACP, a Republican Rule Clean Democrat of Vermont. Who's against it? American Civil Liberties Union, Public Citizen, Consumer Federation of California, and Dolores Huerta, labor organizer, and the Orange County Register Editor Board. Prop 25. Reaffirm on SB 10, 2018. Background: SB 10 replaces cash bail with the system based on public safety and flight risk. It is on hold until reaffirmed passes or fails. Yes vote keeps SB 10. No vote replace SB 10. Financial analysts: cost of implementing the new system may be mid-hundreds of millions of dollars. Saving on pre-trial incarcerations in tens of millions of dollars. Follow the money. Supporters 8.3 million. Opponents 9 million. Next slide, please. Who's for it? Service Employees International Union, California Democrat Party, California Medical Association, and Governor Newsom and Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon. And who's against it? The California State Conference of the NAACP, the California Peace Office Association, California Bell Agents Association, and Human Rights Watch. And now I will pass it now to Deborah.
So now it's time for active policy reflection. Whether it's a referendum, something new to the ballot, a new initiative or proposition, read the proposition and the pros and the con arguments. Identify the topic. Identify what the proponents see as a problem. Identify what the proponents see as the solution. Apply your values and your interests to the analysis of its worth for the community and for yourself. Discuss your analysis with others that you trust. Choose your final position. It's your personal choice. Things that we want to leave you with, reminders. You don't have to vote on everything. It is not a test when you go into the ballot and look at your ballot. You have the right to vote. And it is okay to use your sample ballot and bring it to the polling place with you. It is okay to use notes. It is okay to do further research. It is okay to rewatch this video if you need to. There are 3 ways to vote this election. One is by mail. Remember to sign your ballot and to allow plenty of time to mail it. It must be in by Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. You can use the drop box. This is what the official drop box looks like in our county. You will notice that there's a number on the drop box. There's a seal from Fresno County. These are available throughout our community, and they're open 24/7, 7 days a week. You can go and drop your ballot. You don't have to wait for the post office. And you can vote in person. You can go physically to a polling center. The polling centers, the voting locations will be open starting Saturday, October 31st. And just practice social distancing. Don't forget to bring your mask. Now, we want to, again, thank the League of Women Voters. Their mission is to empower voters, defend democracy. Their vision, we envision a democracy where every person has the desire, the right, the knowledge, and the confidence to participate. Their value, we believe in the power of women to create a more perfect democracy. And they shared the slides with us, so we're really wanting to give them credit since these are most of the slides are theirs. We also want to thank other resources that we have and partners throughout the state. And we use strictly nonpartisan resources, the California State Library Literacy Program, Key to Community, which has some wonderful videos on YouTube, the League of Women Voters, the Easy Voter Guide, and the Fresno County Elector's Office. So if you have questions, comments, feel free to call us, visit our literacy website. And as I shared earlier, and before I stop recording, I want to remind everyone, if you sign up at fresnolibrary.org Literacy Index, you will get these 2 items. One of them is a pocket constitution, which you can take with in your purse, your backpack, if in your car, wherever you feel like you can have this. And the other one is Your Voice, Your Vote, the Easy Voter Guide, where you can write notes. If you would like additional workshops, let us know. We are here to help you. We want to do it in a nonpartisan way. The Easy Voter Guide and the Pocket Constitution, we will send it to any branch within Fresno County that you select. So that will go to you and it's yours to keep.